10月17日、今週もやってまいりました。皆さん、Cardano Radio もう3週目ですよ。ほんとビッグペイのトークすごいですね。もう僕もめちゃくちゃ勉強させてもらってます。そして全編英語ですけどもね、明日ラジオをお聞きの皆様は You speak English, you understand English と問題ないかなと思ってます。皆様からの質問、コメント、メッセージなどは X の方で明日 Radio もしくはCardano Radio でお願いいたします。さあ、ここでもう一度我らのスーパーゲストを呼んでみたいと思います。ペイテンよろしくお願いします。I introduce in Japanese. Yep. どうぞ。Hi.
Hello. It's good to speak with you again.
Thank you very much for joining me for another great show. But by the way, do you know any Japanese words?
The very basic ones. Like thank you and hello. I'm trying to learn more. It's a beautiful language.
All right. Well, trust me, I'll teach you tons and cram lessons. All right. So I'll pass the mic to you. This week is going to be Peyton teaching people in Asia what you are actually doing.
Awesome. Yeah, so, I started off in Cardano as a stake pool operator and content creator. I would make YouTube videos for people teaching them about Cardano, and I would also run a stake pool called Bloom. And during that time, I was teaching people about Cardano locally as well in my local town. I would sit down with them and show them what Cardano was, how to stake, how to purchase ADA. And I realized during that time that there was a platform missing, kind of a platform that guides people into crypto and makes it fun and pretty and easy and gamifies it a bit. So, about 3 years ago, I came up with the idea for a new platform that we've recently launched on Cardano called Atrium.
Yeah.
And the first big piece is really focused on education. It teaches you, what is a Cardano wallet? What's a browser extension? What's a hardware wallet? How do I stake my ADA? All the basic stuff that you and I already know is actually, it lives in this platform in easy bite-sized videos. They're 2 to 4 minutes long. They're animated as well. So when you guys help someone, onboard into the Cardano ecosystem and they ask you, what is Cardano? You can just share them atrium.io. And this it's not just an education platform. It actually has wallet features. It's hooked up to the Cardano blockchain, so you can send and receive using the app. But we've also developed new smart contracts that have never been seen before on Cardano. We've also open sourced these smart contracts as well, so anybody can use them. And the first one is called staking baskets. And staking baskets allows you to delegate to up to 100 different Cardano stake pools at the same time, and you earn additional native tokens on top of your rewards. So we open source this. Any DeFi platform on Cardano can use this to add multi-delegation directly into their existing platform. So it's going to help Cardano's decentralization. It's going to help new smaller stake pool operators receive some stake. And to productize this, we actually launched Diffusion. And Diffusion is a staking basket that delegates to 50 different Cardano single stake pool operators. It has about 500,000 ADA in it right now in TVL, and that ADA is split up among all 50 of these operators. And what's unique about it is even if one of these stake pool operators go down, for example, normally you would just lose all of your ADA staking rewards, but with Diffusion, you're still earning the majority of your rewards because you have 49 other stake pools that are still, minting blocks and earning ADA rewards. So it's a great way to, support 50 small businesses in Cardano, earn additional rewards on top of your ADA rewards. And, our other smart contract that we've also open sourced, it really gamifies Cardano. As you use, X or Discord or even, the Cardano blockchain, you're earning XP you're unlocking avatars and backgrounds and customization options. And what this allows you to do is mint these profiles. So you can come in, you can reserve a name. If I reserve, at Bigpey, for example, you can send ADA to at Bigpey directly through Atrium. And then in the future, you'll be able to, follow these profiles to start receiving notifications and staying up to date. For example, we could have a profile for your radio show here. And as you release new episodes, in the Atrium app, people are going to start receiving notifications to come view, all of your new episodes or maybe participate in a new airdrop from one of your favorite projects. So with Atrium, we're trying to do a lot of things that we think Cardano needs. Help people educate, bring more users to the existing platforms and projects, and then also bring more stake to some of the smaller SPOs in the Cardano ecosystem. And it's all already live right now on atrium.io.
Wow, that is amazing. I mean, a lot of people in Japan are jumping into being an SPO, and the cashew, a lot of sites helps you, gives you the way to teach you how to build nodes and all the scripting for the Haskells to be an SPO. But the core information, I mean, we're involved in a stake pool called ASY because we're not Shia City, so that's where we're involved in. So we have our own stake pool at this moment, but we have to teach ourselves. And basically, I didn't have the knowledge when we started out, maybe exactly 2 years ago. I was thinking, if we have the pool and if we have like few delegations, I didn't know that we had like the minimum ADA requirement to get to get the blocks to start out with, right? And later on, I find out at least you need 750,000 to a million ADAs to get start minting blocks, right? And I was like, wow, that's a long way. So the style you're doing is like amazing. So I really hope people jump into what you're doing. So that really helps the small pools too. So I think that was great.
Yeah, we have a mix of larger pools and smaller pools in there as well to kind of balance out the ADA rewards and get some of those smaller pools minting blocks.
Wow, that's great. Like for Atrium, like you have everything live right now, and it was like looking into like 2-3 years in the future. Do you have like another vision that you guys are planning to do? Or of course, there are things that you can't talk about, but like what you can mention in the future of you guys.
Yeah, the biggest thing in my mind is our next big update that's coming probably early November. And what it allows you to do, so when you use diffusion and you delegate to the 50 different SPOs, you're actually earning ATMA tokens on top of your ADA rewards. And we're trying to build a social finance ecosystem for Cardano. So what you can do with those ATMA tokens is you can actually delegate them to your favorite, profiles. So the second smart contract that I mentioned allows you to mint profiles. And the way that you actually get virality within the Atrium platform, the way you reach new users, you bring new people to your radio show, is you gather ATMA token delegation, just like an SPO gathers delegation. So you can have a profile within Atrium and you can say, hey, come stake with me. And then that's going to bring you more attention and more virality on your profile. And then you're also going to receive rewards from it, just like an SPO. So that's our next big update. We're going to be launching, really an ecosystem map of everybody building, everybody creating Cardano content. And then, all of the Atrium users with ATMA tokens will be able to take those tokens and elevate, their favorite brands within the Cardano ecosystem. So, really the future is SocialFi, the ability to, essentially, give virality to your favorite projects and platforms. And, the other big thing that we've been talking about is launching a second staking basket. We have the first one that delegates to the 50 SPOs, but we're thinking about maybe doing a midnight basket, which delegates to all of the different, midnight stake pools, so you can earn night tokens on top of your ADA rewards. We're also considering doing like a builder basket, where it delegates to 15 different Cardano builders, and you're getting 15 different tokens on top of your ADA rewards for supporting all of the builders. So there's really a lot that's coming in the future with Atrium.
Wow, I mean, you mentioned a lot, and I've been trying to keep up with what you're saying, but it really does sound amazing. So the first biggest update you said is somewhere in November, so I am looking forward for that as well. Wow, and one more question. I was about to ask you this last week, but I forgot. But being a D-Rep, yeah, you said you were a D-Rep for the Cardano governance, yeah?
Yeah, so I've always made educational content for Cardano. So I made a video last year, the day that the D-Rep update came to Cardano. And in that video, I recommend everyone to become their own D-Rep. I alluded to, for years, we've mentioned that Cardano is the most decentralized blockchain in crypto. And I said for us to kind of keep up that mantra and that narrative, we need more D-Rep delegation within the Cardano ecosystem. So I created a call to action for everyone. And I said, hey, here's how you create your D-Rep keys. I recommend everyone become their own D-Rep and gather delegation and start participating in Cardano governance, because the more delegates that we have to D-Reps, the more decentralized Cardano is going to be. And I also stated, if you don't want to become a D-Rep, you can delegate to me as well, but I do ask everybody to just become their own D-Rep, because the more opinions that we have, the more voters we have, the better. But I did become a D-Rep myself, and I have participated a lot so far in Cardano governance.
I mean, one thing that I've seen that people hesitate for being a D-Rep at the moment is to become a D-Rep, it's about 500 ADAs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure why it's set at 500, but if there's a way for them to set it lower, I think more people will precipitate, and more people, like more decentralized, like you said, and more opinions. It's good. I mean, having more debates, it makes everything more correct, right? So I really hope there's a way they can lower the fees. I mean, always lowering the fees is not the best idea, but I mean, I would be a D-Rep. I mean, I'm waiting for next year. Probably by March, I myself will be a D-Rep as well. But maybe the entrance fee is a little bit too expensive for many people to jump in. That's my take on that. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I mean, with Cardano governance, allowing us to update and change protocol parameters, I think it would be possible for us to lower that high cost to entry.
Well, if that happens, then I think more people from even Japan will, try to become a D-Rep, and it's gonna be fun, I think.
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, Cardano's been evolving like amazingly in the last, 1 or 2 years, and rapidly things are moving on and changing, and they got their governance and the ecosystem and community, and I don't know what's going to happen next year. I can't even think about it, how great it's going to be. What's your vision about, the future ecosystem of Cardano?
So with the, clearance in U.S. regulation, one thing I'm excited to see is, in America, we have these kind of tax-free accounts that allow you to invest for retirement, right? Like 401ks and HSA accounts. And right now, through those accounts, you can buy Bitcoin, for example. You can buy Ethereum. And, recently the SEC just announced a new clarity bill that essentially allows, ETF providers to easily launch ETFs with ADA in it. And there was actually a deadline coming next month for the SEC where they were forced, essentially to approve or disapprove an ADA ETF, right? So I think that, we're seeing more regulation clarity in the United States. We're going to see financial products launch with ADA. We're also seeing the Midnight blockchain launch. And, We're seeing, you know, Cardano's governance mature. You know, I think next year is going to be really exciting, you know, from all of those crossing narratives. And, you know, we even have, you know, a lot of people working on bringing Bitcoin onto Cardano as well. So I'm really excited for, you know, all of the future prospects that are coming from all of these major updates.
All right, thank you very much. Wow, that was another quick episode. I mean, I learned a lot from you again. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna see you again next week. But you know, next week is gonna be the final week, and I'm already sad.
We can do it again in the future. No worries.
Yay! I'm already happy. Well, Peyton, thank you very much for giving me, you know, great, you know, 3 episodes for the Japanese economy, people here, the culture. Thank you very much. Everybody is going to love the last show too, so I'm looking forward for next week's show.
Me too. See you next week.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.
The community knows DeFi's alive, liquidity streams, Cardano's building real world dreams. ADA, we rise on your wings, from blockchain roots to real world things. DeFi governance, midnight align, Cardano's vision, the future defined. Stability Indigo's right. USDA common trust decentralized. DEX are trading. Pools stay deep. Stake delegate rewards to keep. Midnight with dust protecting the right. Privacy balanced with laws in sight. Identity verified freedom and tax. Zero knowledge whispers guard every